Hello, lovelies. Ah, so glad to connect again. One of my favorite spots on earth, the Verde River, right there. And all that, and on and on and on and on and on and on and on, and then a little bit of cash. Always some cash. Anyway, it appears to be really easy, right? I mean, most of the time it is, but it's so easy to get lost in the forgetting of who we are and why we're here. I mean, we don't know that. We don't know anything, right? As my last video said, the What Now video talked a little bit about that. But let's just take that storyline that it's all one, expressing itself and knowing itself and playing with itself through all the separateness, the illusion of separateness, through all the characters. So whether that's what it is or not, I mean, nothing is. So that means anything can be it. Because it's nothing and everything. And I used to really trip on that when, like I'm walking and I trip on a wire across the floor or something. Not like trip out, like, whoa, that's trippy. Although that too a little bit. No, it was more of an annoying kind of trip and almost fall. With the two things that came into my tasting and diving into the non-duality soup was that it's everything, it's nothing, and it's nothing being everything. That was like saying something like, and the other one was that there is no such thing as experience. So going through my evolution, if you will, I realized that just because somebody else says it, who has a lot of followers and seems to really got to get a grip on this storyline that is also made up, doesn't mean that I'm wrong in my this resonates and this doesn't, or this doesn't make any sense, or this is absolute pure bullshit. So, but back then I was like, what do you mean there's no such thing as experience? To me, everything is experience, only experience. When you go to sleep and you don't have any dreams, there is no experience, there is no you, there is no life, there is no reality, there is no God, there is no pizza. When you wake up and there comes, the movie is hit again, like play or rewind or fast forward sometimes, or all of a sudden you wake up in a different movie. Anyway, that's all the experience. So that's something I still stand by. And maybe it's just a matter of semantics and words. But words are part of it. But words aren't separate from it, right? So why do we say can't put it into words? And well, my YouTube channel is called The Ineffable. So because in the big picture and in the wholeness of it all, it's ineffable. That's a great word. I love that word. Ephemeral is another great word, because that's also something that it is. It's ephemeral. And those are things that you can validate for yourself or verify for yourself. And if you can't, then put it in your pipe and smoke it, or don't, or throw it in the trash. What I'm saying is, like, as Terence McKenna says, and I'm paraphrasing, and he has a beautiful quote, which I will put in the comments of this video when I post it. But the last line of that is, it's up to you to make sense of the universe. It's up to you to understand your universe, because that's the only thing that's going to serve you, to help you. And sometimes diving into other people's understanding and explanations, like Advaita Vedanta, and we think that this has more weight because it's so ancient, and so many masters and sages were preaching this on the mountaintops and in the I was gonna say, I'm having such a hard time with words lately. They just escape. I was gonna say, first thing I was gonna say is, where do the Muslims go? I want to say Musk. God, I'm so. I'm sorry, I'm not going to waste any more time trying to come up with that word, but like the church for Muslims. But what I meant to say is now I forgot what I was saying all completely, but uh, all right, I want to just stop. Oh, there's a cottonwood. I live in Cottonwood, and I just see cotton fluffs falling. See, I was so busy trying to find words, and there's these little delicate fluffs of whatever. So we tend to give it more importance or more truth or more belief to it because it's, or science or history or like the body even, and doctors and all that. But that seems to be playing out in this consensual shared reality. But what if you start checking out of that a little bit? From my experience, and that's all I can speak from, you can't, maybe, but till this point, you can't completely check out of that. And I've spent the last couple of years so much time in solitude and in these places like this, you know. So, and I went a lot crazy before that, like really lost the plot. And I had physical shit going down that, because it was all connected, of course, but you know, like scary stuff. But anyway, I still never lost. That happened before. What I was going to say is I never lost myself in my own delusions, because I can tell when it's the mind or the life. And it's not separate, and if that happens, that's what's meant to happen, and it's beautiful and perfect. However, this character has a different unfolding, because many years ago I did lose everything, and I ended up in jail in Virginia for 3 days, which was another story altogether. But you know what? Virginia is for lovers. That's the theme of that state, and man, it sure is. There was nothing but love, although it didn't feel that way at the time. Anyway, it's still only nothing but love. But just to have more fun and make it easier and enjoy life as she gets eaten by a mountain lion. There are mountain lions around here. Anyway, take what you listen, absorb to what you like, what inspires you, what soothes you, what heals you, if that's necessary. I know that was hell necessary for me. I couldn't find it anywhere outside myself, so that's the irony. And now back in the game, back in the story plot, movies and stuff. Oh, somebody's out there. Back in the dream, as a player, not an NPC player, but a main player. It all gets messy with all that stuff, with all the energies and the beliefs and the ways things are playing out in the mainstream society. I'm sorry, but there is something out there. It could be a human, or it could be an animal or something, but that's why I'm keeping, anyway. So, but in the end, just trust yourself, and also recognizing that you're kind of the one creating this. And it feels rough sometimes, but a deep breath, a walk to in nature, some time alone, although sometimes it's the opposite that you need. Anyway, it's life. It's all life, and it's all perfectly okay. And it's even better to play and just have fun with it and take it light. Don't take anything so seriously. Remember, we all are gonna die. I mean, you can say a million stories about death and the afterlife through any perspective, any belief system, any histories, or what's in books. But this character checks out of this body, you know, like I'm old. I'm old school because I'm older. That's how it goes. Those games where you play a quarter at the arcade and you have 3 lives, and then 3 lives is your game's done. Unless you're really good at it, and then you get an extra life because you're so good at it. So let's be good at it. I think being good at it is just to have fun, be kind, love yourself. don't shut down into what is sort of set up to shut you down, the majority of stuff in the world. Not out here. Don't shut down. Okay. This dog is done. Cash is done. He's so patient with me. Well, he has no choice really, but thanks, Cash. Thanks for being so patient. Look at that tail. Look at that posture. Just ready for anything. And then nothing happens. And then something really happens. And then it's nothing. And it's always nothing. And then everything. All right. Till next time, my loves. Enjoy yourselves. Peace out.